The cosmos never delivers its mysteries quietly. They arrive like thunder, shattering silence and rewriting the laws we thought were carved in stone. That's exactly what happened with Threeey Atlas, a true interstellar visitor now racing through our solar system. Astronomers once expected it to behave as a common comet, bound by ice, dust, and predictable patterns, but Threeey Atlas just made something no comet should be capable of. All over the world, telescopes turned and caught a vivid green glow bursting from its coma. It wasn't the usual faint shimmer. This was a bold, aggressive emerald light, as if the object itself demanded to be seen by humanity. Scientists know why average comets radiate green. A simple molecule called dicarbon creates the effect. Sunlight excites its bonded carbon atoms. Electrons leap and fall, emitting predictable green wavelengths, textbook science. And yet, Threeey Atlas made something deeply unsettling. Whenever spectroscopy probed for the molecules responsible for the green blaze, there was only absence. The very chemistry that should explain the color was nowhere to be found. Instead, the glow shone with unnerving intensity, brighter and more persistent than anyone could have anticipated. Astronomers everywhere staggered as their foundations of comet science cracked. What followed was not confusion, it was the beginning of doubt. If a visitor could make a color without the molecules that create it, then the rules themselves might be wrong. For of the world's greatest telescopic eyes, Hubble, Webb, Swift, Tess, all turned, seeking clarity. Instead, they reported the same impossible fact that emerald glow was real and it didn't come from the usual source. None could find the missing molecular fingerprints. It was like seeing a brilliant paint on a canvas without any trace of the color's pigment. The rules of science, for centuries reliable, suddenly bent. Threeey Atlas wasn't content to be a mystery. The universe was daring every physicist on Earth to explain the impossible. Every detail of this object reinforced that challenge. Its speed was incredible, crossing empty space at nearly 56 kilometers per second, moving along a hyperbolic trajectory that would never return, faster and more purposeful than any solar-borne comet. The nucleus, solid heart of the traveler, wasn't large by planetary standards, only half a kilometer across. But the coma, the shroud of gas and dust surrounding it, ballooned to a scale larger than Jupiter itself. Imagine a mountain wrapped in an envelope that dwarfs a planet. Such massive displays belong to bodies with enormous energy, with active eruptions, not to ancient, cold, interstellar wanderers. And yet, Threeey Atlas radiated energy, glowed with forbidden colors, outshone expectations and models. What we're watching is not just another icy visitor. Threeey Atlas challenges every assumption, every textbook, every confident scientist. Its message is written not in Earth's languages, but in paradox and spectacle. If the green glow wasn't enough, deeper examination only intensified the chaos. Spectral data, the delicate fingerprints left by molecules in the light, came back almost empty. No long chains of carbon, no abundant molecules found in local comets. Instead, the Webb telescope detected masses of carbon dioxide, nearly 3 times higher than any comet in living memory. Cyanogen, a rare and toxic compound, showed up in abundance. Nickel flooded the spectrum, but the iron that always accompanies it was missing. Here's why that matters. Nickel and iron are born together, forged in supernovas and scattered across the galaxy, inseparable companions in dust and rock. Yet, Threeey Atlas broke the partnership. Nickel was present, iron was gone. To find these elements split is to suspect something altogether alien, a chemistry written in a cosmic foundry we've never studied. Every answer uncovered by science raised 2 more questions. Was this interstellar evolution, strange but natural? Or was Threeey Atlas made, intentionally shaped, a deliberate construction, an artifact created to command the universe's attention? Theories swarmed. Maybe a molecule unknown to Earth survived the harsh journey between stars, awakening under solar radiation, glowing green in a way no scientist could predict. Another possibility, nickel woven in a fragile organic lattice, exposed to relentless ultraviolet light, fractures and radiates green. Chemistry tries to keep pace, speculating on loopholes and tricks within physical laws. But always, the most daring hypothesis hovered: what if the glow was a signal? A deliberate message rather than spontaneous happenstance? What if Threeey Atlas was not just a comet, but a messenger designed to be seen, its green beacon a cosmic? We are here, broadcasted without radio waves. No scientist wants to abandon caution, but Threeey Atlas forces the question, refusing to obey the natural world script. Its behavior blurs the line between mystery and intention, between the chaos of nature and the order of design. The debate became global. Media picked up every anomaly, from missing molecules to unexplained green, from trajectories that seemed deliberate to the wild idea of artificial origins. Soon, security agencies also noticed the comet. Whispers emerged, space surveillance networks adjusted their sensors. Military satellites tracked the intruder across millions of kilometers. Was it because of a collision threat? Not exactly. Threeey Atlas passed no closer than the orbit of Mars, a safe distance. But any object behaving unpredictably, breaking scientific expectations, draws strategic interest. In an era shaped by space technology, everything anomalous becomes a priority. The possibility that Threeey Atlas made an engineered signature, a clue to deliberate cosmic activity, cannot be ignored. Scientists and space agencies all focused on one critical moment: perihelion, October 29th, 2025, the day when the comet would pass closest to the sun. This was the test. Solar heat could intensify the green signal, unleash new outbursts, shatter, or reveal the comet's secrets. If the chemistry was right, it should surge, fracture, or fade in predictable ways. But if Threeey Atlas was made and the glow something more intentional, perihelion could expose the truth for all to see. Radio telescopes listened, hoping the airy green held embedded messages, perhaps modulated signals only revealed by solar excitation. As the object approached, the world waited. With every passing day, new data brought more reason to doubt and more reason to wonder. Governments and astronomers coordinated the world's telescopes to catch every minute, every burst, every unexpected flash. Military assets tracked silently in case the glowing halo masked hidden transmissions, in case Threeey Atlas's passage wasn't just an astronomical event, but a demonstration, visible proof the universe holds secrets meant to be noticed. Some anticipated that the mysteries would break at perihelion. On October 29th, the calculations were exact: Threeey Atlas should sweep behind the sun, the surge in energy forcing ice and dust to vaporize, potentially causing the glow to flare, fracture, or collapse outright. Newsrooms worldwide paused for updates. Observatory feeds went live. But instead of a sudden crisis, the object glided through its closest approach with eerie composure. The green blaze neither faded nor exploded, it intensified smoothly, shrinking just slightly, then swelling again as the comet swung clear of the sun's embrace. Data poured in, but none told the awaiting scientists what they had hoped for: a straightforward explanation. No carbon chains, no familiar molecules, no easy analogies. The impossible chemistry only deepened. Audiences everywhere became obsessed. Social networks pulsed with speculation. Was this a sign? A warning? An invitation? If nature could break its own rules, what other boundaries could be crossed? The mystery even extended to the orbit, as meticulous tracking revealed that Threeey Atlas exhibited tiny course corrections, not quite fitting any known pattern. Was it natural outgassing, jets of vapor steering its path? Or was the object responding, reacting rather than obeying passive physics? Top planetary scientists debated daily on public live streams. One group asserted the nickel glow could only be explained by a coincidence never before observed: a metallic crystal fracturing perfectly under ultraviolet light. A rival camp argued for molecular lattices unlike anything on Earth. A third invoked pure strangeness: processes seated light years away, never intended to make sense in the solar system. But conversation always circled back to the fundamental. Something about Threeey Atlas felt intentional, curated, made to attract the gaze of telescopes, to stir up debates humans weren't yet ready to settle. The broadcasts grew more dramatic as revelations mounted. New Michio, the celebrated theorist, appeared on late night specials and international news panels. He pointed out every civilization wonders if it is alone. Sometimes the universe sends an answer too complex to grasp all at once. Threeey Atlas is that answer. Charts and simulations lit up the broadcasts. Could outbursts so regular, so luminous, truly be random? Were the spectral lines a signal, a deliberate artifact meant to betray a message decipherable by only those who look past the surface? Soon, NASA intervened publicly. A formal statement announced the mission's top priority was now dedicated real time monitoring of Threeey Atlas. Emergency observation time was unlocked on every major facility. New probes passing Mars at the right moment were retasked. Rumors flew that data was being encrypted to prevent premature leaks, that military coordination was ongoing not just for analysis, but for global alert. The world's leading technical minds were now aligned on a single riddle: explain what Threeey Atlas made and why. The comet's passage inspired artists as much as scientists. Paintings, essays, massive street murals all invoked the emerald blaze. Many recalled the wow signal of the late 20th century, a cosmic anomaly never repeated, and dared to draw parallels. That earlier mystery was a solitary radio burst lasting barely a minute, but it inspired decades of speculation about first contact. By contrast, Threeey Atlas was a spectacle for all visible eyes, a luminous visitor that refused to remain in the background. Then another anomaly, a repeating modulation in the comet's green emissions. Not quite a message in binary code, not quite random noise. Research teams noticed that every rotation of the nucleus was matched to faint, periodic fluctuations in the glow. The light pulsed almost like a cosmic heartbeat. Astrophysicists debated if this was a byproduct of geometry, sunlight glancing across ridges and valleys. But the synchronization persisted, hinting at mechanisms no one was ready to name natural or engineered. If it was timing, a signal, then the universe had just written a new kind of communication, one that passed straight through ancient filters for randomness and order. Days passed. Analysis deepened. It wasn't just the green glow. Thermal imaging of Threeey Atlas recorded unexpected hotspots, as if something beneath the surface was briefly, locally heating vast swathes of its crust. No mechanism on record for ordinary icy bodies could account for so much energy in isolated patches. Rumors swirled among planetary scientists. Was this outgassing, spontaneous chemical reactions, or something technologically advanced? A controlled release of energy? Every finding generated headlines. Each headline brought new eyes, and Threeey Atlas became a symbol of cosmic defiance. At the same time, deep radio arrays listening for signals from space picked up peculiar bursts. These were brief, faint, nearly indistinguishable from background noise, but perfectly timed with the rotating green pulse. Some researchers claimed this couldn't be coincidence. Multiple observatories compared their data, all finding synchronicity where there should be chaos. The greater public grew convinced this was contact. Every expert, even new Michio, cautioned patience. Nature sometimes throws up patterns where none are intended. But behind the scenes, many whispered, astronomical flukes rarely line up with so many disciplines at once: optical, thermal, and radio all acting in step. Then came the next surprise. Threeey Atlas, already producing more carbon dioxide than any comet in living memory, began to emit subtle jets of what looked like pure oxygen, but only for minutes at a time, always as it moved past particular points in its orbit. The timing paralleled bursts in both light and radio. No known reaction, no chemistry in textbooks could account for these rapid, local changes. If this was natural, it was a process never before recorded. If artificial, it was an orchestration on a cosmic scale, using distances and dynamics most minds could barely grasp. With the anomalies stacking up, world agencies moved beyond mere observation. Hypotheses were drawn up. Could Threeey Atlas be an automated probe transmitting status with visible and radio pulses? Was it seeded by a civilization long vanished, lifeless now but still operating on ancient programming? The public divided. Many clung to extraordinary coincidence. Others embraced the possibility humanity was not alone. Social media fractured into endless debate as the green glow, the pulses, the jets, each fresh layer of the mystery, played across millions of screens. And yet, no message came. If Threeey Atlas was built, its purpose remained shrouded. Some even speculated that the object wasn't communicating with us at all, but with some watcher further out, somewhere beyond the solar system, leaving us as bystanders. A voice in the dark answered by someone else. Scientists kept looking for simple answers and found only deeper questions. New Michio, now a fixture on every major network, summarized, we are witnessing the universe play with expectations. No matter what Threeey Atlas turns out to be, it has made one thing very clear: the rules are less fixed than we hoped, and wonder is more necessary than ever. As weeks stretched into months, humanity watched the visitor slowly recede back into interstellar dark. But its legacy persisted. The textbooks revised, scientific humility reaffirmed. The green glow that defied explanation became a symbol, not just for astronomers, but for everyone of the wild, unending mystery that is the cosmos. Every future comet will now be seen in its emerald shadow. Every anomaly will pace Threeey Atlas, a reminder that sometimes the universe invents new rules just to see who is paying attention. When news outlets asked who owned the discovery, who would decode the final answer, all eyes turned not to governments or lone scientists, but to the community that asked the best questions. New teams assembled. Citizen scientists pointed their backyards telescopes skyward, networking thousands of amateur observers for every blip in the night. Beyond Parallax chronicled every twist and turn, making sure the story, no matter how unfinished, belonged to everyone willing to look up and wonder. But the echo of Threeey Atlas didn't fade as it disappeared into the black. Instead, it sparked a new age of scientific curiosity and global collaboration. Researchers who once worked alone across continents now called nightly to compare notes, pooling telescope time, sharing code, and publishing open data. Language barriers fell away, united by the need to decode an object that refused singular interpretation. It didn't matter if one was in a desert observatory, a mountaintop lab, or piecing together readings from a city apartment, everyone was searching for meaning in the signals Threeey Atlas left behind. Universities launched new courses on extreme astrophysics. Students debated late into the night about how a comet could break the known rules and what it might mean for other so called relics from interstellar space. Theorists published speculative papers almost every week, arguing bold new laws of matter or proposing that Threeey Atlas was a prototype, the first of many signals placed through the galaxy by ancient explorers. Some even said the object was never meant for us, but acted as a beacon, calling out to others still hidden in the stars. No matter the theory, the lessons were clear. The cosmos is unreasonably creative. For every question answered, it multiplies the unknown. The more science learns, the more it must admit to the limits of what it understands. Threeey Atlas demanded humility from the sharpest minds and wonder from those willing to watch. New Michio returned often to the nightly news, always closing with the same reflection. The lesson here is that we must never stop asking. That every time we find what looks like an answer in nature, we discover the answer is a question in disguise. He celebrated the network of curiosity stretching from professional observatories to backyard astronomers, every single searcher an essential part of the story. As for Beyond Parallax, the channel that refused to let the story slip into silence, its audience grew into the millions. Each upload was an event, a gathering where insiders and first timers alike debated the latest light curves, shared images, or listened for bursts no algorithm could parse. When the green glow faded from the last public telescope, it was Beyond Parallax that promised to keep watching, to never let the mystery go unexplored or the wonder go unspoken. In the end, Threeey Atlas left more behind than dust. It left a challenge: to be unafraid of not knowing, to be united in pursuit of the strange, to look up and see the darkness as invitation rather than obstacle. Perhaps the visitor made all those impossible things for a reason no one on Earth could guess. Or perhaps it simply proved that the most powerful technology in the universe is curiosity itself. The signal may be gone, the glow may fade, but the effect on this restless planet endures. Because now, for the first time in living memory, every watcher, every scientist, every dreamer and skeptic shares an unanswerable story, a reminder that the universe is much larger, much weirder, and much less finished than we ever dared to hope. If you want more content to reach your 30,000 character length, a part 5 can be made and the narrative continued with new scientific debates, philosophical reflections, and event fallout for global culture and future missions.